Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. There was a nice little 10-rounder over in Bournemouth between MACE RUEGG of Bournemouth, I think he's from Bournemouth, and Liam Dillon, former British super-featherweight champ. He won that title in 2023. I think it was vacant. He beat Kays Ashfaq. Is that how you pronounce his name? And then he lost to Reece Bellotti on a unanimous decision. That was during Bellotti's sort of ascendancy, his rebirth, if you like, after 3 consecutive defeats. And then he fought Ryan Garner. He lost a 10-rounder. Garner at the time was undefeated in 14. Then he had a little sort of, 6-round runaround against a journeyman. But he was going in against an undefeated fighter in MACE RUEGG. And RUEGG, like I say, 24 years old, from Bournemouth, had fought absolutely no one. All journeymen. I say no one, you know what I mean? And no big names. They're all journeymen. 12 wins and no defeats, no draws, but he hadn't scored a single stoppage. So he's going in there against a former British champ. And if he gave a good account of himself in a losing effort, it would probably be regarded as a learning fight. That's pretty much what he did, because Dillon, it was actually, I think it was a split decision. RUEGG was looking to sort of box. He was constantly on the back foot, but he wasn't, when I say box, I mean box on the back foot, I should say. He wasn't looking to run too much, but he actually was forced to run because the steady pressure that Dillon was putting on him was forcing him to constantly retreat more than he'd like, rather than stand on the back foot, take a few steps back and then, pop in with counters. But Dillon's consistent pressure over the 10 rounds was the telling factor. Now, one of the judges, I think I might say, one of the judges had this 98-92 to MACE RUEGG. Don't ask me to explain that card. I can't do it. I had it 96-94 to Dillon, which I think was the same as one of the judges. But nevertheless, MACE RUEGG did give a very good account of himself. He's clearly got no power to speak of. No, he's never stopped anyone. But the fact that he went 10 with a former British champ, and he's only 24, he can come again. That's fine, that's fine. As you know, on this channel, I never ever care about undefeated records, unless they're full of real substance. Then, of course, that's a real achievement. But a lot of undefeated records, it doesn't matter if you lose early on in your career. If you've got years left to sort of learn from your mistakes, to take the experience, fine. And I think that's what MACE RUEGG is going to do. Now, both of these fighters were orthodox fighters. RUEGG was, like I say, he's speedy with the feet, quite fast, more of a touch you move, one of those sort of fighters. Doesn't even attempt to put any power into his punches, which probably explains why he hasn't got any kind of, he hasn't got a single stoppage victory. Whereas Dillon himself has only got 3 stoppages in 14 wins. So he's not exactly a big banger. But he does look to put pressure on and plant his feet a bit more. And I wouldn't say either of these guys was hurt at any point. Not surprising, considering neither of them's punchers. But mentally, there was, as the fight progressed, there was clearly a sort of visible increase in confidence as far as Dillon was concerned. Because the rounds that I gave to RUEGG were certainly in the first half of the fight, and then I thought Dillon took over and kind of pulled away a bit. But definitely there was RUEGG was being contained more. He wasn't looking to counter. He wasn't looking to box so proactively off the back foot. It became more a case of, okay, I've got to avoid what this guy's throwing at me. And if I can see a little gap in the door, I'll creep through it, and I'll pop my own punches. Whereas to start with, it was all sort of flash and dash and slipping and sliding. But I think Dillon deserved to win this fight. I think his come forward motion, the fact that he gradually increased his effectiveness. I think 6-4 in rounds is fine. And it's a good win against a young undefeated fighter. Dillon himself is 29 years old now, so he's got time. Like I say, we're talking super feathers. I think there was a belt on the line, something like the Silver Commonwealth Championship or something like that. I don't know who cares about that. But it was a good win. It was a good, especially as he's come. Well, apart from that little 6 round against a journeyman, 6 rounds against journeyman, he was coming off back-to-back defeats to Ryan Garner and Reece Bellotti. No shame in losing to either of those guys. Like I said, Garner is undefeated, and Bellotti's having a sort of Indian summer of a career. Both very good fighters. So I think Liam Dillon may have a bit more to offer. And I thought this was quite an entertaining fight. Like I say, no power involved, but nevertheless, it's worth looking at because the action was pretty consistent, and there was that sort of curious mixture of styles: the come forward guy and the back foot boxer. So a deserved win for Liam Dillon. He'll probably be looking for another British title shot, maybe get his old belt back. And this is a good step forward for him. And he's got time on his side, 29 years old, pretty well preserved. He's got a draw on his records. I think he's had 17 fights, which is not much at all. None of them have been particularly grueling. He's done the 12 rounds against Bellotti. He's done the 10 rounds against Garner. He actually won the title against Case Ashfaq over 12. That was a 12-round split decision. So he's done some, some real... he's also been English champ as well, I think. Did he beat or did he draw with Youssef Hamani? I want to say that was a draw, but I'm not certain. But he's done the distance, so we know that he can do the distance solidly, and pretty impressive stuff. So I like Liam Dillon. I wish him nothing but the best, and I think he probably does deserve another shot at the title, at the British title, which is still held by Bellotti. So a rematch, I don't know. I think what will happen is Bellotti will probably go looking for the EBU belt and free up the Commonwealth and British belts. And don't be surprised if Liam Dillon picks one of them up. So there you go. That's Liam Dillon scoring a win over MACE RUEGG. Let me know what you think. If you saw the fight, if you got any opinions, have you seen either of these guys before fight? You've probably seen Liam Dillon fight. But this was a good little learning curve for MACE RUEGG as well. You'll probably see him back on a Queensberry card. This was on a Queensberry card. Like I say, it's over in Bournemouth. It was the undercard of Ryan Garner, wasn't it? Ryan Garner and Salvador Jimenez. But let me know what you think. Comments below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit the like button and do all that good stuff. Thank you very much. I'll catch you later. Bye for now.